Imagine a life without direction, like a ship without a compass on the open sea. What a pointless, boring existence that would be. Imagine waking up each day without anything to work toward or anticipate. You only get out of bed because you have to go to a job you despise in order to pay the bills on a day when nothing seems to matter. You distract yourself with meaningless activities in an effort to feel better about yourself. A person's life lacks passion and meaning, but if they could find something they were willing to live and die for, everything would change. One of Friedrich Nietzsche's quotes goes like this: "He who has a why to live can bear almost any how." Today, I want to assist you in discovering your why and your daily motivation. Having a purpose in life is more than just an aspiration. It's a mission, a calling that you feel in your bones. One of Mahatma Gandhi's quotes goes like this: "The best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others." He discovered his calling in the struggle for Indian independence. Take Martin Luther King Jr. as an example. He fought for civil rights, social justice, and racial harmony. According to his words, if a man has not discovered something that he will die for, he isn't fit to live. His conviction in his beliefs drove him forward. Serving his cause became his life's work and the thing he died for. Mother Teresa was a humanitarian who spent her life caring for the sick and impoverished. She was so devoted to her mission that she famously said, "Not all of us can do great things, but we can do small things with great love." Her story exemplifies the importance of discovering a cause worth fighting for. Famous psychiatrist and Holocaust survivor Viktor Frankl may best exemplify the importance of having a cause to fight for. He thought that finding meaning in life was more important than seeking pleasure. In his words, "Life is never made unbearable by circumstances, but only by lack of meaning and purpose." Those who were able to find meaning in their suffering were more resilient and likely to survive, as observed by Frankl in the Nazi concentration camps. Frankl observed a clear dichotomy among his fellow inmates in the concentration camps: those who had given up hope and were willing to die, and those who were determined to fight for their lives despite the odds. Those who had given up had a higher risk of getting sick and passing away. However, those who maintained optimism and found purpose in their lives had a greater chance of survival. This demonstrated to him the strength of his convictions and the importance of finding one's place in the world so that one may persevere through adversity. At one point, Frankl had the opportunity to escape from a concentration camp, but he decided against it. He stayed to take care of those who relied on him, rather than pursue wealth, celebrity, or independence for himself. He was willing to give his life for his mission, which was to aid others and stick around with them. Frankl made a selfless decision to stay and aid others. Those who were unable to endure the harsh conditions of the camp were also the subject of his writing. These individuals often uttered phrases like, "There's nothing to look forward to in life." They had stopped believing in a better future and saw no point in living. People's minds and bodies would deteriorate, and they'd lose motivation to keep going if they didn't have something to hope for. It's a moving illustration of how important it is to find something to live for, even in the darkest of times. Frankl argued that in order to discover one's why, one must first turn inward and reflect on one's spirituality. He thinks everyone has to discover on their own what their unique purpose in life is. The crucial query is, how do you discover your life's purpose? To better understand the how, it might be useful to first examine the why. The pursuit of wealth, prestige, power, or pleasure seems to dominate the lives of many people today. Frankl argues that the pursuit of such things is often just a coping mechanism for those who feel their lives lack substance. Although they may seem significant, these activities are unlikely to fulfill your need for significance. They serve as poor substitutes for what really matters. Frankl argues that the key to happiness lies in discovering one's own special contribution to the world and acting accordingly. This may be more difficult than chasing after money or pleasure, but it can lead to a more satisfying and meaningful life overall. However, Frankl believed that making happiness the primary goal was problematic. People in the good vibes-only community, for example, report feeling constant social pressure to maintain an upbeat demeanor. The need to be happy increases. But you can't dictate or coerce someone into being happy. Instead of seeking happiness first, Frankl believed that it should be the goal of life. We chase after happiness without ever questioning what gives life its true value. The result could be a sense of emptiness or dissatisfaction. Frankl once said, "Happiness requires a purpose." However, once the cause is identified, happiness follows naturally. Humans, as we can see, aren't necessarily looking for happiness so much as they're looking for a reason to find happiness by awakening the latent meaning in any given circumstance. Frankl believed that the secret to both happiness and success was the same. He believed that success finds us when we stop chasing it and start working towards something greater. In other words, if you devote yourself to a worthy cause and genuinely care about it, you may find that success follows. If you put too much emphasis on attaining success, you risk losing sight of what matters most. Finding your life's purpose, according to this line of thinking, is the real secret to both happiness and success. Without it, you will seek temporary satisfaction in things like pleasure, wealth, and status, but they will never satisfy you. Having considered the value of meaning, you can now investigate the means by which it can be found, maintained, and ultimately sacrificed for. According to Frankl, there is no universal truth that can be applied to every circumstance. Everyone has their own, and it can shift with the weather. Asking a chess master for advice on how to win a game is, he said, like trying to find a general meaning for life. There is no universally correct response, because the optimal action varies from game to game and from opponent to opponent. Similarly, the purpose of your life isn't something you can simply invent. It's out there, waiting to be found. According to Frankl, you run your place in the world and your contribution to it through your interactions with others. Therefore, there is no one correct way to achieve fulfillment or find meaning in life. It's all about learning about yourself, paying close attention to your current circumstances, and discovering what works best for you. Frankl suggested 3 paths for achieving happiness. 1. Producing an artifact or carrying out an action. This refers to the completion of a goal, or finishing a job successfully. It could be something huge, like writing a book or creating a new invention, or it could be something small and selfless, like giving food to a hungry person. It's all about making a positive impact on other people's lives, or improving the world in some way. 2. Meaning can be found through direct experience or through meeting new people. It could be a realization of the truth or an appreciation of beauty. Frankl considers this a form of love because genuine familiarity comes from genuine concern. The people and events that give our lives meaning are at the heart of this approach to meaning-making. 3. How we respond to pain that is out of our control. Sometimes life is tough and pain is inevitable. What matters, according to Frankl, is not the suffering itself, but how one responds to it. You can choose to find meaning in life at any time, even in the darkest of times. According to Frankl's research, the everyday things you do, the relationships you cultivate, and even the difficulties you face can all contribute to your sense of purpose in life. So, my friend, when you find something to live for that matters deeply to you, you can endure much. Please consider forwarding this message to those you know who you think would appreciate these insights if you found them to be both inspiring and meaningful to you. God's love be with you forever.